So on add-on, two of the most common add-ons you guys will use are one, Redis, obviously now for Rails 5 action cable. If you use turn that on. Two is email. This guy works quite well. SendGrid. Some of these guys are new. I've used SendGrid, Mailgun, Postmark. They're all pretty good. And they have free tier. You can send maybe 200-300 emails a day. That should be good enough. There's you could actually use your Gmail account, create a fake Gmail account. Gmail also let you send a few hundred emails a day. If you send more, if you BCC too many people, like more than 50, then it thinks that you're spamming people. But sometimes it just give you authentication failure because it tries to protect the account. So if you try to use your own email account, it's usually it's not easy to get it works. Things just fail in the background. You have to know how to read the log. So this is the easier way, and they will tell you how to set up. It's very easy to set up email. They tell you to go to environment/production.rb, set up the I think there's a documentation somewhere. Ruby Rails here, mainly like this, right? Add-on, by now you know all the add-on use very similar principles. Environment variables, when you add the add-on, they provide you these values, okay? And SMTP server, if you send the standard SSL type, you can just pass in the SMTP address and the default, right, port like this, and it just works. So that's beautiful, right? You locally, that's why putting this in production is better. Right? Putting it in environment.rb means your local host also uses this, which makes no sense because you don't have these values. There's also, Pony. If you use a Sinatra app or some other non-Rails app, use Rails, just use this. If you use something else that is not Ruby on Rails, then you don't need active mailer, action mailer. Then you can use Pony. For example, if you write a command line Ruby program, just Ruby, right? And you can just set up bundler and require Pony, and then you're off. You're good to go. Okay. Documentation is great. Always pay attention to them. Staging. There's a cool thing. I didn't realize they have a Mailtrap add-on, but I also go to Mailtrap and get the username and password. What happens with Mailtrap is, instead of sending the email, like you say, hey, send an email to obama@us.gov. Instead of sending that email, it pretends to send the email and put that in the mailbox in Mailtrap. This helps you test to verify that this email was sent to that user, and it displays Dear Obama. Okay, the name is correct, and then this user is the most active user, right? So you can test that. So that's cool. And again, read, right? Simplify. I think documentation, for example, normally they will tell you how to use it with Rails. You see, Heroku works with Django and other types of things. So very similar, except with Mailtrap, you create an inbox, and in that inbox, it keeps all the emails you send to users. But you go into that inbox, you can see from whom to whom. Does that make sense? Trapping the emails. Obviously, if you use more than one mailbox, you need to pay. So it's a free version, and not. So that's why it looks like this. It's a little bit funny, right? REST client pretty much you can just do it yourself. You don't have to do this first inbox thing, but this is another way to do it. So you can go to this website, sign up for Mailtrap, get the username, password, and everything. Okay? Alright, so Mailtrap is useful for your staging server, again, or your even development server. It's a nice way of previewing your emails. See the HTML version, the plain text version. So that's nice. Check it out. I won't cover deployment, but there's one gem that I really like. Not gem, Heroku add-on. It's called Paper Trail. For our app, it's so important to look at the log. Things will fail on production and you don't know why, right? So you say Heroku logs, remote prod. Remember now we need to check prod that way. And what happens there? It only gives me some hundreds of lines. I don't know how many lines, so maybe I pass here and let me count number of lines. Okay, give me 100 lines. 101, 100 lines from the log. So I don't know how to get more than one line, but I know how to get the tail. What happens when you do tail? You give me 100 lines, and it stay there. And if I go to what is that website? This guy, and see who else loves me. Right, very good. So if I do this, I look at the log, and you see that these are the messages that are sent to the browser. Okay, wow, so many clients, right? Sending this, and I'm like, oh my god, how do I read this? Okay, so you see, I enter a few times to mark it, and I just did one message. I sent one message, and I got this much log. And sometimes it's really hard to read. Right? If you use tmux like I do, you can search, right? I can search up there, and I search, and I can find it in some of these messages. But what happens if there's an error in the app, right? I'm saying, oh, okay, well, I can search again. I just do, error. Locally, all your error is in what file? You can do, log development file, right? And if you want to search for something called error, then you can search that. See, you can grab it, or you can open it in a text editor. Over time, this file becomes really big, so that's quite tricky, but still, it's pretty good. And if you do it locally, if you want to observe, somehow you cannot find your Rails server, which display all the log to standard out, right? You can also check the log. Like what I'm going to do is log/development.log. Okay, so what to remember? Locally, it's easy to find. You can open that log file in an editor. I open it, maybe, how big is this file? It's probably not big, right? 7 and 90, like, so I just open that in maybe any of my editors. So I say code, log/develop. So it's, hopefully I don't crash that. So that's the log file, and if there's any problem, you can troubleshoot, right? You can search, replace. Some other time, some people try to create an event, let's say for coder ticket, and they fill out all the information, a lot of information, and then something crashed because you create an event and it crashed because there's a location that doesn't exist. And your user is like, I spent an hour creating this description, HTML, and I press update, and it just crashed. Now I lost it. But you're like, actually, you didn't lose it. It's in the log file. But you don't know how to get it out to help the user. So the ability to work with this kind of data is very important. Okay, so how do we make sure that we can use production data? You can write a script. Every day, okay, Heroku logs, let's save it to my local machine. Sounds like a great idea, right? If you have someone do it for you. But so the way to do it is Heroku add-ons, create Heroku add-on. Is that create? Yeah, so create, but now it's called Paper Trail. Let's see if it can give me the documentation. I don't know. Okay, whoa, look at that. Oh, it gave me the free version. Very good. So see, add-on docs paper trail. So good. So happy logging. So what it means here is every time the Rails log now, it now there's an extra database that store all the Rails log for you. That's beautiful, right? So what's happening? You provide this log file. You can access it by This is incognito, so I'll open this in my regular browser. This one, this, and I click on this dashboard link. Okay, where? Oh, there's an open link here. It's even better. Add-on open. Easy to remember, right? So within your team, someone should write down these steps. Hey guys, here's how we troubleshoot. Like documentations is always good for your team. All right. So what happens is I open this. That's staging. I create this for staging, but I was doing it for production. So prod as well. Obviously, if you create it earlier and then you fork, this will follow, right? And then I do this for prod. That's better because okay. Let's open that for prod. No event, right? What if now I go to my one room dot, where is it? Okay, Heroku open prod. Too lazy to type. Okay, take this guy. Now I visit this page. Okay. Oh wow, so hello. Come on man, show up. This guy, my one room events. Okay, that's not fun. What's happening? Oh yeah, see that? It says slow, but now everything will go through here. And so many beautiful things you can do with it. Because, let's say, if I write this app, and I don't know what people are doing in my sleep, they're chatting and they say like, Harley is a jerk. Right? Or they say, code is cool, you know, I don't know, sucks. So, they write that, and I want to know. So what if I write to a log, right, at rails log.info, and then what happens, it will all show up in the log. So let's see. Here's the version if you do it from command line. Heroku logs tail prod. Paper Trail also give you this add-on. I don't know, I haven't used it yet. Let's see. There's a way to tail it in the command line. Oh, plug in here. You can search more. But the idea, I don't know why it's still not printing everything for me. I think there must be another setting. This is not good. So every time I do this, the log should be piping over here. Okay, that's good. Okay. Good. So do you see Harley sucks down here, or Coder School sucks? And now you can search for maybe Coder School. Okay, so there's nothing yet. I think that one didn't go in. Coder School, let's try again. You see that? So I search for Coder School. I can see all these messages that contain the word Coder School, right? And you can set up for this platform to send you a summary every day, right, to whatever email address you want. Or you can set up like if there's an error. So yes, please, for example, platform errors are easy to miss. Paper Trail setup is default. If there's a word error in there, maybe out of memory, too many users, right, it will just send you an email. So that's nice. But I don't want to set up this app. But I want to set up every time someone sends something about Coder School, I just say Coder School here. Okay, good. I press search already. So there must be a way to save this guy and set it as an alert. So maybe I save this search. I call this Coder School. Here, save and set up as an alert. Damn it. So I can create that, or I go here and there's no alert. Let's try again because this view is easier. So let's try save. How do I save it, guys? Here. And then there's a save and set up as alert here. Okay. So this alert, now you can set it to send to Slack. Isn't that beautiful? When a user does something, it sends this log to Slack, and it's a very fast way to create that flow, send to Slack or send to your email. These two are the most useful options. So that's the lazy way of logging errors or anything that your users say that may appear in the log. Okay, you can maybe filter by IP address. So if you know, in this log, where is that paper trail thing? Did I close it? Maybe this guy? I don't know. Where is it? Yes, it's this guy. It actually displays all the IP address. You see any query that's HTTP request. So let's say clear Coder School here. And you can see this. Should be able to see some people IP address here. So let me browse, refresh this guy. There. Visit this. There. That's the IP address here, right? You can search. Put this IP address here, and you can see all the visits by that person. Right? Of course, this, and then you can save that data file, and then you can look closer into it. So you can extract data. This is the name of the server. Obviously, sometimes it hasn't reached your dyno the server. This is a server that you pay for. If you have a Rails app that has many servers like dyno, then you see 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But you have one free and it's here. This is the name of your app, and so you can click on each one of these and it filters to view only that type of data. So it's my favorite plugin. It's very nice. You can just click to, if you look at the log and something wrong, you click in that, it highlights this one, and you can send this URL to your friend, and your friend will be able to go in there, look at that exact time, and help you find out why this payment didn't go through. This person tried to pay for $100 for their airplane tickets, but it didn't go through. It's very important. So sometimes you can use in your code, if let's say in here, right? If someone log in, and you can even say if params username, right, Harley, then you can just say rails.logger.info, and you can do something like alert, fake user, right? And if you do this, then you can always add some alert down here, because this will appear in your log, right? There's many creative ways you can do that. It will show up in your log. So that's it. Don't use it for error tracking, because there's a better way. It's called error monitoring. And if you add this guy, it only specializes at error. Every time Ruby throws an exception, Rails throws an exception, it sends you an email. That's it. Or it sends you a message to Slack. But this is very important. Before you put your product online, for people to use, always set it up, because if you don't, people get an error and then it just go through the log and disappear, and there's no way you know how and why, right? Usually it's okay, but that's the first step. Be a professional developer. Always think about that. When you become an advanced developer, you don't just do this. You track activities. That's called analytics. You put Google Analytics to know what page user go to. You also put analytics to see how many times the people click the cancel button or they click the order button. Put that before you put the feature live, because then you know. But don't do too much, but your experience will tell you how much tracking you should do. Yeah, so that's data analytics tracking. This class, we cannot get in that. If you want, you can take my advanced class. But this one is very easy to set up. There's this token, and again, it can be created as an add-on on Heroku, and boom, you get free error tracking. Right? Okay, I think that's under this add-on thing. Search. How do I search for that add-on? Yes. Heroku change so much every time. It's like I kind of hate it. What is this thing? So this add-on. So maybe this is called Rollbar. It's such a platform, such a popular platform that anything you can think of, they create an add-on for Heroku. So same thing. Look at the doc. the documentation that say with Ruby on Rails, add it on. Why not? Play with it, right? And then every time that your server run, like if it's an error, that's called 500 error, like database connection error, or your code, you call a method that's not found, that's a 500 error, server error, right? Your user will only see something went wrong, or database not migrated, right? But the user will not be able to tell you what went wrong. Only your log file can tell you, right? Or, but not log file, but you use this rollbar. Rollbar will tell you, and it tells you what line it crashed, and then you click on it, you can see exactly what code crashed. Then you can fix it immediately. It's very fast. You don't have to say, user, can you go and try that again? Can you? No, I missed that. Can you try one more time? No, that happened once, it captured, and this in a lot of application, it's like this, right? The server doesn't really crash. It just crashed for that user, and then it just Rails catch that exception, right? And print out the backtrace. What line? There was this line that called this code, but there was this other function that called this line. So you can look at that backtrace, right? It's exception that's caught. But this guy just catch that exception, send an email, and you get that. Okay. When there's certain kind of error, for example, it comes to memory, something more serious that's like unexpected, Ruby will fail. Right? Server just crash and you have no idea, because by then it just crashed, even crashed the code that tried to send the email. So obviously, in that case, you just have to ask the user, can you try again? Can you try again? Can I get your password? Can I log in with, or you can write code to pretend to be that user. It's easy. In your session.create, session controller create action, you can set it. Right? Oh, you can set in some code and you can pretend to be any user. Yeah. Okay. Good luck on your final project. I hope these tools are useful. Keep sending questions, so it will help me decide what to teach you next week.